All right, guess who's back? Back again. Toddy and Mitch are back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? All right, Toddy, start us off. You Spray podcast, and we are back. What is the name of that song and the artist that I just sang?
Oh, I know it's Eminem.
Yeah, name of the song?
I don't even know what it's called.
Bro, I was just trying to think about it, and
I know the words, but I can't think of them on this
yeah, I can't think of it.
one.
Yeah.
Is it called Guess Who's Back? Nah.
No, I don't think so. It's yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all right, moving on from that, it probably got some Eminem fans out there, especially if you're born in the 80s, early 90s, I reckon, but everyone's probably a fan of that guy. So what we are going to chat about today is, look, we've had a few people reach out asking about some of our machines and some of the newer models that we have. So we just want to talk about those machines, the benefits, why we chose to actually bring them out, and some key benefits of using these machines. So first off the rank, we're going to talk about our SCG2 diaphragm pump and our SGC500 diaphragm pump. 500 is petrol driven and the 2 is electric. Now, both come with either hoppers or suction hoses, okay? So quite convenient for multiple spray applications, but we're going to hand it over to the guru, Mr. Toddy. Tell us, why you're a big fan of the twos and diaphragm pumps in general. Just give us some key benefits about ours, why you'd recommend them, and if a painter's out there thinking about getting a diaphragm pump, why should they consider that over a normal piston style pump?
Yeah, so in general, diaphragm pumps can generate a bit more pressure, which is a plus for certain applications. Traditionally, you're limited to about 3,300 on piston pumps. You can get up to about 3,600.
And why is that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's capable. I don't know. Maybe the piston pumps are limited. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're a hydraulic-driven pump as well, so they're way less maintenance. They're either working or they're not working.
Yep.
And then the very few wear parts. You got inlet valve, outlet valve, pump spray valve is pretty much it.
And it goes through this, a 10 centimeter section.
Yeah.
In the machine, like inlet, outlet, there's not a long way to go.
Yeah, so it pumps about a teaspoon at a time versus so you get way less vibration while you're spraying. Great for solvents. If you have to do the odd 2-pack or enamel job or something, it's perfectly fine for that. Minimal electric, so you can run it off a generator. Doesn't use a lot for a generator. From a petrol point of view, being hydraulic,
No circuit board.
but as a petrol one, whether because it's hydraulic, it's either working or it's not. So you can run the revs on the motor really, really low, so it uses way less fuel than a piston pump would, or like a clutch-driven piston pump would.
Yep.
The fine finishing, because it never stops. If you're used to a piston pump, you let go of the trigger, it'll stop, and then you pull the trigger, you drop. Even those XTs have a bit of pressure loss. Diaphragm pumps are constantly running, so when you pull the trigger, you don't get any loss in pressure. And so the benefits of that, you get way better results with finishing. You can sometimes see it when you're spraying gloss on a flat panel door, a little bit of a wave going on. That's that little bit of pressure loss that you're getting with the piston pump. Whereas diaphragm pumps, you get a perfect pressure, which is awesome. Up to 90 meters of hose, which is insane amount. Yeah, so as an option, it's probably the most universal. I guess the negatives to them is they don't have as strong of a drawing power. So if you're sucking up ceiling flats, primers, roof membrane, that sort of stuff, the drawing power is not as great as a big piston would be, like a syringe. But the outward's is really good. So if you're utilizing a hopper, back in the day, guys loved diaphragm pumps with a hopper for roof membrane because that go and go and go. And contrary to popular belief, membrane is probably one of the best things to put through your machine because it's super smooth, it's like butter. And so the valves last ages on a piston, on on both actually.
Yep.
So as a universal machine, you just never know when the odd roof membrane job comes up. So you can do it if it needs to. Never know when the odd handrails made out of 2-packs come up. You can do it, which is awesome. Really cheap to replace, like in our case. The valves are cheap. You know, a full head replacement is like $700. Just new piston or new diaphragm, all that sort of stuff. Really cheap. Like as you said before, there's no circuitries in it, so it's safe for a generator. You know, in Australia, I don't know why, but there's a huge. I remember when I was at Dulux, we used to get so many young circuit boards blow on piston pumps, heaps of them, like heaps. I remember the service tech from Rosebery, he used to laugh about all the time. He said, man, I could start a business and just have full-time job doing warranties only. Because the amount of circuit boards that were going and handhelds that were dying and whatever. And so I don't know what it is. That's one of the reasons why on our machines we decided to get rid of most of the electrics, because just to avoid any stress on the circuit boards. But that's just completely limited if you use a diaphragm pump. So anybody who's had a circuit board blow, super inconvenient, especially when you have to wait weeks and weeks for it to get repaired. That's just a non-thing, which is awesome.
And if it's not under warranty, it's expensive as shit.
Yeah, like a board. I think I'm doing one now for a 695. It's like $1,300 just for the board or something crazy. So it's like, you know, when it's just a bit of plastic. I remember my brother's an engineer in the US. He used to be a engineer for Club Car, and I sent him this circuit board to have a look at. He's like, how much did you say these were? I was like, bro, they're like $1,000. $1,000. We'll say $1,000. He's like, bro, there's like $7 worth of circuitry here. You just think, man, these guys make some money. So, but I mean, it's part of me feels like it's just a way to convince someone, do I spend $1,000 or I spend $3,000 on a new one and just never have a drama again?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But yeah. So I've always been a fan of diaphragm pumps. You know, I made most people remember me as, you know, buy a diaphragm pump. That was the thing when I was at Wagner. And the thing is, they've been around forever. They're bulletproof. You know, very very easy to work on. Most service centers, you know, love them because they're just basic. Valve in, valve out, pretty much it.
Yeah, and I was just going to add the thing that I loved about it, like you were talking about. Yes, you get the hopper and you can put the paint in there, but it's like gravity fed, so it's, you know, it just goes in
nowhere.
Easy. But you know, also having the hopper, if you're using like 2-packs or oil-based products and stuff like that, just like putting it in there and actually doing your mixing in the hopper. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about that. Just adding a bit of, you know, thinners, terps as needed or whatever. And I just thought it was. Yeah, really, really easy to do. So yeah, no, that was that's why I enjoyed using the.
One of the things that I love about the ways that we went as well. Those of you guys who've ever used a diaphragm pump, they're all the same. Essentially, they work basically similarly. But ours is fairly similar to the Wagner SF23 Pro. But for some reason, they decided to go with a brushed motor. We had the option, like it cost us not much more to get a brushless motor, and it's like half the weight. I think the Wagner Wagner SF21 is like 30 kilos or something crazy, big heavyweight. Whereas ours with the frame is like 15, like it's super light. And so which if you had to point to a negative with the diaphragm pumps, it's some people don't like it because it constantly runs. You know, whatever, it's worth the finish. But most guys, man, they're bloody heavy. If you ever had old you know, old Fields or old Siwa or old Wagner or something, super heavy. So the brushless motor is a huge win.
Yeah,
huge.
but that's the interesting thing when it comes to diaphragm pumps, and like guys talk about the XTs and they're so quiet. They say this, like the only sound you're hearing is when you're spraying the trigger. Like you don't even, you know, when you're spraying, you're hearing the spray. Like you can't even hear the machine. And most of the times, you know, you're super far away anyway.
You got the guy next door to you using a drill and a jackhammer.
Yeah, 100%. The radio's up that loud. But yeah, speaking about like, you know, hose and that's the other good thing with those machines. You know, it's you can run shorter hoses than 15. So if you're using 2-packs and all base and that, you can have a small hose, quicker to clean. And I mean, if you need to, you can throw out, you know, 7.5 meters, 10 meters of hose instead of 15. So, that's sort of convenient, less hose to wind up and that.
Definitely.
So, yeah, there's a lot of pros and to getting a diaphragm. So, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Next one we're going to talk about is our SGC3000, being referred to by many being a couple of people, absolute beasts.
Bro.
And they are beasts. Let me tell you that. So you would have seen probably like in the last week or so, we've had some posts on there because we've sold a fair few of them already to roofers and guys that spray a lot of thicker products, some barricading and stuff from freeways. But they are awesome machines. And yeah, Tony, tell us a bit about our SGC 3000 and why they're beasts.
So we went with the 3000 for a couple reasons. One, it's hydraulic as well. Hydraulic's a big deal. So you can run the revs of the motor really, really low. We actually did a job for a mate of mine a couple weeks ago. We sprayed, it was 470 square meter roof. We did 3 coats. Then we did a shed, which was 180, 3 coats, top, sides, walls, everything. All in one fuel, one tank of fuel. It still had half a tank of fuel left, actually.
Yeah.
So like it uses bogger all fuel, which is awesome. Whereas the problem with normal piston pumps that have a clutch is you have to run the revs up high enough so it can activate quickly. Whereas on these, the hydraulics just kick in immediately, which is awesome. So massive reduction in fuel, but because of the length of the stroke, you've seen those things. The hydraulic motor and the piston, they're humongous, which allows you to, the stroke's really slow. You can hear it just ticks. And so those valves are going to last forever and a day if you ever, from a maintenance point of view. So guys that are roofers that are just spraying roofs constantly,
Yep.
you'll the amount of times that bring it in for a service will be drastically reduced. Because it's so big, it runs like 15 liters a minute. So you can, if you wanted to, you can run 4 or 5 guns on it. If you got a massive like commercial roof to do, you can just get 5 guys up there and just smash it out, and it's a couple, really, really fast.
So when we're talking 4 or 5 hoses, what lengths?
Up to 90 meters.
Okay.
That's pretty standard in most guns, but most of the time you just avoid it because there's enough weight on 90 meters of hoses anyways, but if you need to do it, it'll handle it. The one thing that I'd keep in mind though is most guys who run lots of hose, it's just for your own benefit if you do this stuff anyways, because the length of the hose, it takes a while for the signal to go back and talk to the machine. And so you experience this reduction in pressure at the start if you're using the extension pole, because it takes a second for it to build back up. So it's always good to run an anti-spit valve on there so the machine can react immediately and avoid that. But yeah, bro, they're so good, man. So good. Nice, like it's small. It's pretty compact for that size of a machine as well, which is handy. It's got the adjustable leg on it, so you can run it as a rigid suction if you wanted to. We've also got the added benefit of a flexible suction for the guys that prefer that, which is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, you can spray really thick products. 90% solid rubbers if you wanted to for bitumen, and like as you're saying before, we sell a few to the mines, a few to guys that spray the sound berries, that sort of stuff. Councils, like if you have like a sporting club or something, you can use it as a normal airlift as well. Like the benefit is there's no circuitry, so you don't have to worry about power or generators, that sort of stuff. So
and we got Honda motors on ours.
Honda motors on them. I know we talk about brand doesn't matter, but in some cases the Honda motors is bulletproof. Anyone's used the Honda motors, they're just the best. So we went that way just so we don't have to worry about that sort of stuff, which is cool. So
and a couple of guys that I've sold to down in Newcastle were roofers, and mate, they are so excited because. We lift it on their truck. They just plan to leave it on their truck, and they've got hoses set up on reels on the truck, so they'll just connect that in and run it straight from there. So that machine's not going to move. They're just going to chain it and drill it into the cover. And I mean, if anyone steals it,
but that's a good point actually. Like someone else mentioned that to me the other day. Like if they want it, they can have it because it's like 120 kilos. Like no one's going to just rock up with a cart and lift it up and steal it.
Yep.
So it's like it's a bit more secure. I'd still recommend locking it up, but it's still, it's way harder to steal one of those than it is to steal like a small skid or something like that.
Yeah. No, so cool machine. We have them on display in our stores, so if you want to see them, also you'll see them on socials as well. They aren't on the website yet, but they will be very soon. And then outside that, we finally have our new SGC Glocks in. New pistols, as you can see there. You got the Spraying Mantis logo engraved on there. These things are pretty cool. I don't want to say pretty cool. They're really cool. So we have them in stock now. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, I suggest, and 2-finger trigger. So yeah, they're also there waiting for you guys. And then on top of that, where is it? Don't even know where it went. There you go.
This guy here.
Hey, there we go. Whoa, there we go. I knew I put it somewhere. So, our new tips. They're pretty sweet. Let's see if I can get it on that camera for you guys. But anyway, as you can see, it's a whole new design, new technology. We've been working on this for a little while. At the moment, they are low pressure tips, and when I mean low pressure, that we are confident in saying the best in the market. So we think you should give these a try, and we are interested to hear your feedback. So yeah, whole different handle, whole different tip, chambers all different, and yeah, they will be ready for sale in the coming weeks. So
What's it come with?
keep a lookout for that.
What do they come with?
They come with, drum roll please, a filter as well. So you won't have to buy a filter for it as well. It'll come with the filter. You'll know which filter that you need to use. So yeah, they are pretty cool, and we are super excited about these tips. So they fit our guards, and they will also fit Graco's tip guards as well. And something that we wanted to address, that feedback from guys with our older style tips, that they are a little bit harder to get into the tip guard, need to be wiggled a little bit more. So we've taken your feedback and advice there, and we're always trying to get better and improve as always. So we have made sure that this is easy. We expect you could get your 5-year-old to put this in, no dramas at all. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, is there anything you want to add with that, Toddy?
Is it only going to be low pressure tips? No fine finish?
Oh yes, sorry. I was wondering where you set me up. Yes, we do have low pressure tips and fine finish tips that also spray at low pressure.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, yeah, that's why I got confused there, because the low pressure fine finish, yes, and our low. I should have said low overspray tips. So they will all spray at low pressure. We get our low pressure fine finish and our LO, which is low overspray, low pressure tips. Okay, so yeah, get excited about that. You'll see it all over social media, and an email will go out to our members about that. And something to keep an eye out is on our website. In the next week or so, you will see our all new member pricing. So if you're a member with us at the Spray Gun Club, you will be able to unlock that pricing. If you're not, I suggest you become a member so you can take advantage of some awesome pricing that we have in store and on our website.
Happy to take your money either way, though. So
Yeah,
Sign up, don't sign up. No.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so yeah, you should really become a member. But yeah, that's a wrap for this episode of the U Spray podcast. Thanks for joining us, Mitch and Toddy, and yeah, as always, keep spraying.